Hi guys. This week I decided to go visit the Wat Lao Buddha Khanti in Snellville. It's a Buddhist monastery. I did not actually see anybody there. Um, I know that this particular Buddhist monastery is a Vietnamese Theravada Buddhist monastery, which is a bit different than other versions of Buddhism if you know anything about Buddhism. I chose this particular site because back in December there was a walk for peace by the Buddhist monks that went from Texas to Washington, D.C. And they came through Georgia, and I was lucky enough to be able to go and visit at one of their stops one night. And I had come to find out that earlier in their journey, one of the monks had been struck by a car in Texas when they first started their journey. And he was, like, his home monastery is actually the Wat Lao Buddha Khanti. So for a while, I've been wanting to go and visit here, and this was just a great opportunity to go and do that. This is primarily when I first walked in and walked around the site. Like I said, there was nobody there. I saw a lot of these, what I thought were dragons. And my partner who went with me, I noted to him, I said, I wish there was somebody here so I could ask them the significance of these dragons. Once I came home, come to find out they're not dragons, they're serpents. And in the Buddhist community, they're actually called Nagas, Naga. And in Buddhist traditions across Laos, Thailand, and Cambodia, Nagas are serpents, but they represent protection, wisdom, and fertility. In this picture and in the next slide you'll see, but this is actually the staircase to the Buddha temple or the Buddha room. The room was locked, so we were not able to go in. But in this instance, the dragons represent, they're like guiding you into purity because the Buddha room is pure. They are the protectors of the Buddha and the Dharma, which the Dharma is Buddhist teachings. If you have any questions about Buddhist teachings, feel free to message me. I am really, really interested in Buddhism overall. So feel free. Anyways, the Nagas. I'll show you on the next slide. This is the temple, and you can see that the Nagas were essentially the railing up to the room. And at the top, you can see the Buddha with more Nagas on the side, and you can't really see it very well, but right above the door is the wheel, which represents the Dharma, the ways of Buddha's teachings. It's called the Dharma Chakra, which means the wheel of the Dharma. This is what really, really interested me, and I've done a little bit of research about this. And this is a seven-headed snake fountain, and it's not a very good picture. I didn't realize it until I got home that there's a lot of gold in here. Um, but it is a seven-headed serpent king called Mukalinda. I probably pronounced that wrong. My apologies. But this is really, really important, and you can see down right above the lotus, you can see the wheel again, and in front of the wheel is a statue of the Buddha. This is really, really important because this represents one of the most profound stories in Buddhism. After the Buddha, Siddhartha, reached enlightenment, he sat underneath the Bodhi tree for weeks to meditate. That's very, very well known. During these weeks, there was a very large storm that came. And during that storm, the Serpent King, Mukalinda, rose up from underneath the ground, wrapped himself around the Buddha, and spread all seven of its heads over the Buddha in a way to protect him. This ultimately represents that the Dharma is protected by wisdom, compassion, and other things because that's what Mukalinda represents. Water fountains in and of themselves are largely, what's the right word? Revered, not necessarily along those lines. It's significant in Buddhist temples because it represents purification, calmness of the mind, generosity, the flow of life, and spiritual renewal. Nagas are also associated with water because they are water and land animals. So it's kind of an overarching idea that the Dharma, Buddha's teaching, is protected and largely revered to be a good thing. But anyways, that's my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.